there's no doubt that adventure can be squeezed in and around the 9 to 5. My boss, for one, knows that all too well. But sometimes, after-work adventures just don't cut it. Sometimes, you need a great escape. And so, in early September this year, that's exactly what I did. From Pescara in the southeast of Italy, I set off on my grandest adventure to date. A buttock-busting 900-mile pedal to the French Alps. And thankfully, I wasn't travelling solo. I am far too daft for that. I'd convinced a couple of other sprightly bambini to come along for the ride. The first part of our journey took us through the scorched mountains of the Abruzzo, and pretty quickly into uncharted levels of dehydration. But that was the least of our worries. The roads around the earthquake centre of L'Aquila were a touch bumpy, the rich cuisine was causing havoc with our bowels, and opportunities to cool off were becoming distracting. But, as these guys noted, the scenery was breathtaking, even in the face of mechanical breakdown. Next, it was onto the quiet, rolling countryside of Umbria, for al fresco lunch stops like this, and, of course, to gain further work experience as roadside mechanics. Following a stunning nighttime potter around Lake Trasimeno, we were then into Toscana, where shorter days allowed us to trespass through rural vineyards, head off-road, and take the odd nap, instead of just fixing our bikes. Along the way, we learned that the pace of life in Italy is blissfully laid back. B-days make excellent water fountains, and there are ways to wash cycle kit for free. Minor traffic incidents were also found to be inevitable. After ticking off the sights, we were then straight back into the big hills. At 500 miles, this was clearly the last straw for Barney, so we bid an emotional goodbye. Barney! Barney! Next up was Patrick, and it's fair to say he didn't have the best of starts.
It's gonna go wrong. That's the first one. First one of many.
Cycling was quite new to Patrick. A good job then that it was mainly flat and we only had 400 miles to go. Nevertheless, the fella battled hard and soon got into the groove, speeding quite uncontrollably through the Italian countryside. His fearless cycling was rewarded, however, with a stop in Alba, the home of the slow food movement, where we also enjoyed an introspective evening in a Catholic seminary. Just what lads abroad want, right? It was then on to the Alps. A tough battle, but the perfect end to the trip. Indeed, these mountains seemed a fitting metaphor for the adventure as a whole. We worked hard, chatted for hours, breathed in the countryside, and then revelled in the accomplishment at the end of the day. Oh, and quite fittingly, I did it all with a shoe held together with gaffer tape. But there was also another element spurring on this particular adventure: the food. Cycling necessitates eating, and eating necessitates cycling. It's a glorious loop of happiness, and it produces a simple, uncomplicated way of life. You see, the thing is, everything in our modern world comes so instantly. So when you're out on an adventure like this, you really appreciate the next meal when it finally arrives. And, like the cycling, the glorious Italian produce is prepared slowly, over time, and is always shared with friends. Piping hot pizza, pasta, parmigiani, pesto, pickled peppers and peddling. We were in heaven. So, 900 miles later, what's new? Well, apart from the shape of my thighs, my heinous tan lines, and a chronic hemorrhoid, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? I need to earn some more annual leave.
Quella chioma, quell'aria brillante.